So you'll find time to get the copies, the gazetted copies, distributed to senators.
The motion is on the urgent need to address the recurring issue of flood-induced damage caused by the eventual release of water from the Lagdo Dam in Cameroon. For a permanent solution to the problem and restitution for the communities ravaged by the phenomenon. The Senate recalls the recent announcement by the Director General of National Emergency Management Agency that the recent release of water by Lagdo Dam in Cameroon will cause more flood disaster downstream the Benue River, which will affect 8 states, that is Adamawa, Taraba, Benue, Kogi, Anambra, Edo, Delta, and Bayelsa states. The Senate notes that the large portion of the landmass of Adamawa, Taraba, Benue, Nasarawa, and Kogi states lie within the River Benue drought, which is flooded every rainy season, occasioned by natural runoff and discharge mainly from Lagdo Dam. Notes further that the communities living in the aforementioned river basin, River Benue plains, engage in the cultivation of different crops, both in the wet and dry seasons. The Senate concerned that the frequency and intensity of hydrological hazards, such as flood, has been experienced annually from unregulated releases, most especially from Lagdo Dam, will continue to cause various forms of catastrophic outcomes unless a lasting solution is implemented. Concerned that the discharge of water from Lagdo Dam, whenever it reaches a critical level, often brings about the overflowing of the banks of River Benue, inundating floodplains downstream the dam, thereby causing great destruction to farmlands, infrastructure, and even often resulting in loss of life. The Senate notes that the major reason adducible to this malaise is the low channel capacity of River Benue that will allow it to hold large volume water due to the high degree of siltation of the river. Aware that the incessant flooding negates the efforts of thousands of farming population in crop production in the Benue Trout, especially the dry season farms located in the floodplains such as Adamawa State's government dam irrigation scheme in the local government, notes that the aforementioned problems would have been ameliorated if the River Benue was dredged and appropriate receptors to buffer dams in the upper Benue region of Nigeria were constructed, into which the unregulated discharge from Lagdo Dam will be channeled and thereafter released gradually in order to minimize the flooding of the downstream communities. The Senate notes also that the areas of severe risk of flooding consequent upon the release from Lagdo Dam and the natural surface runoff are the different local governments in Adamawa, Taraba, Benue, Nasarawa, Kogi, Anambra, Edo, Delta, Rivers, and Bayelsa states. Because that in 2012, 2015, 2018, 2019, 2022, and this year, high incidences of flood along the River Benue Trout, all the way to Bayelsa State, severely affected the communities in the states listed above. And this year, torrential rains and releases of water from Lagdo Dam has severely flooded and submerged many communities and farmlands, rendering many families homeless and helpless. Concerned that on September 3, 2023, the federal government, through the National Flood and Emergency System, issued a flood alert that some parts of the country may witness heavy rainfall, resulting in the rise of the water levels of the Benue and Niger, which may lead to flooding. And it declares that when Lagdo Dam in Cameroon was constructed in the 1980s, it was agreed that Nigeria would construct a buffer dam in Nashin Hausa in the local government of Adamawa State to serve as a buffer dam to contain spills from Lagdo Dam. But regrettably, to date, the dam the Asin Hausa Dam has not been constructed. Accordingly, Senate report results to 1. Ask the federal government to revisit the Asin Hausa Dam project with a view to commencing or resuming the construction of the dam by making budgetary provisions starting with the 2024 federal budget. 2. Urge the federal government to intervene through the Ecological Fund Office to construct some of the flood prevention structures such as dikes, embankments, levees, and flood measuring devices and key points along the River Benue in order to protect farmlands, infrastructure, and downstream communities in the Benue Tract. 3. Call on the federal government through the Inland Waterways Authority to dredge the River Benue from Akwaji all the way to Laku Dam in cooperation with the Republic of Cameroon. 4. Explore through the Nigerian Ministry of Foreign Affairs and relevant authorities and hold on the National Emergency Management Authority in consultation with the state governments listed to urgently carry out a comprehensive assessment of communities affected by flooding with a view to providing them with relief materials. I so move.
From Yola South, from Fufore Yola South to Yola North, Timsa, Numan, Gire, and Lamodi. 4 of those local governments are redeemed by us as secretary. And according to NEMA, 2.4 million people were affected, and 600 fatalities over the period of time. Mr. President, only in August this year, we have 53 people lost their lives. To the extent that the President of the country directed that the investigation to be carried out and find out why these things are happening. Nothing more than dredging of the Benue as well as the Asin Dam that will stop all these activities and all the government. Mr. President, it's a serious issue, and I support this motion, and I pray and beg my colleagues to support this motion because it's not only Adamawa is affected, as mentioned by the mover of the motion, across the states, about 4 or 5 states of the country. What's up to Bayelsa? It affects up to Bayelsa. So, Mr. President, thank you very much for giving me time, and I hope and wish my colleagues to support this motion to enable us have something tangible in 2024 budget, Mr. President. Thank you.
Senator Solowa Adiola.
But it's a moving motion I want to say. In addition to those states listed, my state compensated is also affected. Just last week, I had to go to government. Hundreds of communities along Gongola River. Gongola River is attributed to Benue River. Has been flooded, and this has been happening year in, year out. When Benue River is flooded, it does not allow water from Gongola to go to the river. They wash it away. A lot of communities. Mr. President, this motion is apt, and I think in addition to the emphasis we are putting on the possession of the dam, the final solution is to dredge the Benue. I know some years back, during the annual administration, there was Congress take-up, including budget allocation for the dredging of rivers Niger and Benue. Somewhere along the line, this issue has been forgotten. I want to ask my colleagues to go to collaborate with the federal government to illustrate this issue so as to give final solution to this problem. Many states are affected. I'm sure besides my own, there are other states who also say they are also affected. Not only the states along the river valley. Those after those near those close to the river are also affected. The same with Benue Niger. So I think, Mr. President, we will not be able to create it overnight, but at least we should take steps to actualize this dredging by providing What is President here? Mr. President, you are in the appropriation committee. I'm sure I told you I had to do that. I'm calling on this Senate, which is Senate was what do you call it, different or outlaw, whatever you say. Do something about this dredging. Put a reasonable amount of money, even if it means for the design of consultancy. Let us take the right step to do a final solution to the problem. That's in addition to the possibility of the gap in the Florida program. With this comment, Mr. President, I fully support this motion. I support all the prayers, in addition to other additional prayers that will be brought. So,
And Mr. President, if dredging of this river Niger, River Benue, and all of it to be a permanent solution for all of it, it is better we start it now. We might not finish it in 1 year. We can spread it across 4 years and make provision for these dredging. And for no fact, I listened to the mover of the motion, who observed that he never mentioned agencies like Ministry of Environment or the Ecological Fund Office. These are two critical offices that should be involved in this, because the funding of dredging of this river and domicile in those two major agencies of the government. And I believe that the chairman, Senate Committee on Environment, should at least invite them. Let us know over the years appropriations that have been made for dredging of this river, how effectively have we put it into use? Because the opening of this dam cannot stop. They need to open the dam so that there will not be overflow. So for it not to overflow, they need to open it so that this water can go out. The aftermath effect of this is serious on our people. And I strongly believe that we should not only support this program, but to be more proactive so that we can solve this problem once and for all. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Dixon.
In fact, I raised this issue with the Senate President on the same day my colleague also raised a point of order. And we decided, therefore, to jointly sponsor this motion. Mr. President, as someone from Bayelsa, and specifically someone who over the years has been involved in the affairs of managing that state, particularly crisis moments like flooding, disaster, and other ecological disasters, I need to say something to share our terrible experiences, because I know my colleagues have talked about the effect in the Benue trial, and even beyond that, through the River Gongola, which is a tributary, as has been rightly said. It spreads even beyond the states that are immediately contiguous to Benue. It even goes as far as it states in the northwest, like what we witnessed last year. Jigawa was particularly affected last year, and a number of other states. The way the water moves is that if it comes in through the Lagdo Dam, gets into Adamawa, and then comes to the Benue Trout, through Gongola, spreads around and other tributaries to the northwest, and then it flows downwards to Lokoja, which is the confluence point of the two major rivers. And then, for us at the base of the country, all the water that enters this country, but what we are complaining about in Adamawa, or through River Gongola, or the one that spreads to the northwest, all of these waters passes through the state of Bayelsa, because it is from there the water empties itself into the Atlantic Ocean. There's no other point. So, the parts of river states that are contiguous to Bayelsa Ahoda West, Ahoda, my colleague is there, all flooded. The parts of Delta State contiguous, all flooded. Because when it gets to Bayelsa, from Anambra, the whole of Anambra, that area, that is Demili axis and all the local governments in that place are completely submerged once there's major flood. Then it enters Bayelsa and the entire state, the entirety of a state, I mean, we're not just talking of one local government or one senatorial district or one community. In the case of Bayelsa, so this incident of any time water is released from Lagdo, once that announcement comes, or at periods like this, is a major panic in the whole of Bayelsa. Because of the geographical location, which is no fault of our people, and the entire state is below sea level. The entire state is below sea level. There is no part that is upland, no part that is riverland. The entire state is below sea level. So once it comes like this, all our communities, farmland, everywhere is flooded. And we have to evacuate people. And ask me, where do you evacuate people and where do you take them to? So the whole thing is flooded. So it's a major, major calamity. This was one of the terrible incidents that opened my eyes 2012, just when I had assumed my service as governor. And it has continued. Last year alone, the flooding, the damage that this flood caused in this country to our infrastructure alone was estimated by agencies of the World Bank, not even by us. I read the report because I've been following up these things on the environment. And it came to over $7.5 billion. $7.5 billion worth of damage. We're not talking of the loss of lives. So, Mr. President and my dear colleague, this is a very serious incident. To some states that are privileged to be upland by virtue of their location in this country, it may be like a one-in-a-off situation. But for us, it's something we live with on an annual basis.
Thank you.
So I'm associating myself fully with this motion. But beyond calling for construction, of just one dam, that dam, the dam in that Adamawa axis, is a wonderful, wonderful initiative. But I think that this motion, we shouldn't be talking specifically about one dam. There is need for the major tributaries through which water empties into the Atlantic Ocean to be continually dredged. Like the river, when you get to Onitsha now, you get to Bayelsa, you meet River Focados, and then the River Non. There was an attempt during the Adamawa administration to do some dredging. But that has to be a continuous annual exercise to clear the debris. Because those waters are always, the basin is always, they leave a lot of deposit when this flood goes. It's filtered, what? Filtered, yeah, desilting. So we need to do a lot of that. So my suggestion, Mr. President, my dear colleagues, because of the seriousness of this motion, and the fact that it involves a lot of agencies and ministries of government. For example, the Ministry of Water Resources must be at the fore if you are talking of dam construction and so on. I will suggest that we should set up another committee.
Senator, you have 1 minute.
Yes, 1 more minute. My 1 minute is to suggest that we set up a joint committee of water resources, works, agri, special duties, environment and ecology, and then foreign affairs. To go into the main causes of this. Not for us to be prescriptive. Not at this point. Let them meet together and say, where and which dams can we take? What is the result of the scientific study that they have, which we now don't have?
So let us get all the experts together and then interact, and then we will now begin to do something. Thank you very much.